Hi folks, I'm doing a video and I haven't done one in a really long time. I'm sorry for the delay. I don't know, it's been a year and it's kind of surprising for me that that much time has gone by, but it's been a busy year and my schedule and life and everything have changed enough that it's just harder to fit these in. I like to make videos in the daytime, and I like to do them when I'm sort of have several hours at home alone, and can kind of think through what I want to say and say it. And my whole life schedule has changed, and I rarely have whole days at home or several hours at home by myself. And sometimes I just don't feel like I have a whole lot to say. But anyway, I'll bring you up to speed. I'll show you what I'm doing now. There's not a whole lot of... I'm sort of back at where I always end up. But anyway, I started out 2016, and I think that I made my last video talking about this. I started out 2016 in Franklin Covey classic size planning, 2 page per day, and I had this gigantic green, dark, like hunter green zip binder, which is right here, and I can show it to you. This big thing. I mean, like you can see, it's so dark green it almost looks black. You know, the zip didn't bother me. This planner worked perfectly fine. 1.5 inch golden rings. Yeah, this planning, I must say, classic size is half letter, 5.5 by 8.5 inch. Incredibly convenient. It's for those of us who work in the U.S. Who are primarily working on that letter size paper. Any document at work that I wanted to have with me could be folded in half and put in the planner. If I had things I needed to drop in the mail, like full-size business envelopes fit standing up in inside the pocket, inside the planner without sticking out at the end. It's just really convenient. It works really well. That much page real estate every day is really convenient too. But it becomes really, 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 really inconvenient to have it with you all the time. And I don't have my planner. I'm not as compulsive as I used to be about having my planner with me all the time. But I do have it with me most of the time. And having this big clunky thing that I had to carry around gets kind of annoying. And so, but I think more than that, around July, I was starting to just get really tired. So I lasted 6 months. I'm in this green giant, and it's rolling along fine, and then I started to kind of get, I don't know, annoyed with it aesthetically. I think it just seemed like it's not me. It's like this big, dark green businessy thing. So, but the planner itself was working really well for me. So I decided that instead of changing the planning system, I would just change the binder. And so, so around the end of June or July, I got this thing. This hot pink planner. I do not even remember what this is called. I bought it. It's brand new from Franklin Covey. It cost about $60, I think. It's vinyl. It's, I don't know, some would say rather girly. I don't really give a crap. So, and I use this not for very long. Big, it's a big fat thing. It's pretty significantly smaller though than the green one because it's not a zip. So you see, it is at least an inch shorter, and it's also narrower because it's got a snap closure. It's not, most Franklin Coveys have a magnetic one. This is actually a snap. The only thing I really don't like about this binder is this funny little gold. This fake gold rectangle, which I think is tacky. I don't know. And Franklin Covey loves tacky closure things. Like, they always have buckles and metal and crap. It looks tacky. But anyway. I don't know, maybe they don't have good taste in Utah or something. I don't know. Probably that's not the case, but it's just remarkable how all of their planners have an ugly, tacky, blingy thing for closure. Clearly they think that that's what people want. Maybe that's what people do want. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Golden rings again. Love my gold rings. They are also 1.5 inch, so I was able to just move everything from green to pink, no problem. And everything fit in here fine. And again, it's a very convenient planner size to use in a lot of ways, except for the fact that it is so big. So I didn't use this. I used this for at least about 6 weeks probably, and it wasn't really satisfying the itch. And so in mid-August, I completely changed, completely adjust. This is radical. I started over from scratch, basically. And I had been using Outlook at work fairly extensively because I had a lot of all this past year, I had a lot of meetings with colleagues, and people like to be able to schedule meetings with me in Outlook. So I was basically keeping all of my time scheduling in here and keeping it all up to date in Outlook too, which by mid-August was getting really, really frustrating. It's tedious. I do not enjoy keeping two planners synchronized. It is not something I like to do. And it seemed like the expectation at work was that everybody's going to be on Outlook, and if you're not on Outlook, people get really annoyed with you because it's not convenient to schedule things with you. And so I decided to try to just do all of my scheduling in Outlook. So I put, and everyone knows I am a one planner guy. I do not do work and personal stuff. It doesn't work for me. Every time I try it, it's a disaster. So I just did all of my scheduling in my work Outlook calendar. If it was something private that I really didn't want people to know about, I just marked it private. People could still see I was doing something, but they didn't see what it was. And I realized that while I can definitely manage schedule from Outlook, when I've tried in the past to do task management and schedule and from Outlook and notes and everything, that does not work. I just don't like it. I like to have paper with me that I can write stuff down on. I find it much more efficient just to kind of capture stuff that's coming out of my brain. My brain is always going very fast, and having to pick things out on my phone is just not what I want to be doing. So, but I realized that if I didn't have schedule in the planner, I didn't need a very big one. And so I have all my scheduling in Outlook, and I got a pocket size classic Croc. This came, I'm trying to remember what the place is called. It's a pen and stationery shop in the Netherlands that has an online presence, and anyway, I'll try to look it up and put it in the comments. But I bought this from them. Very quick shipping, very nice customer service, and I love Croc planners, really love Croc planners. And so this was a compelling option from Filofax. It's the first new Filofax I've bought in a very long time. Probably since I bought a Kindle. And that was 5 years ago. So, good job, Filofax, making a product that your traditional customer base wants to buy. I think that's good. It's beautiful. It smells lovely. It's got a great finish on it. It's the right amount of shiny. And it's nicely designed. I think that it has, in all sizes, it has a full width back pocket. It has a perfect ring mechanism. Card slots, this really weird it's like an elastic pen loop with a flap of leather over it, which I'm not sure what, I guess for decoration, I don't know. I stuffed a big fat pen in here when I was using it, so basically that flap of leather was invisible because it was covered by the pen. It has a zip pocket with a gusset over here, which is nice. And it's quite convenient. I can't remember, I was trying to remember when I started making this video if I actually used this as a wallet. I don't think I did. I think I was still carrying a wallet, but I think I did take a lot of stuff out of my wallet and put it in here. So like the most essential things were in my wallet, but a lot of the other cards and things I carry around ended up in here. And I certainly captured a lot of receipts in it. And I set it up, I had some essential reference information for work. I had, I was doing some journaling in here, very sort of light journaling, taking notes. And then I got a Raymond da Vinci week on 2 pages to write date-specific to-dos on. So there were things that I really wanted to get done that specific day. I wrote them there. And then I interleaved a notes page in between, and on the notes page I wrote down things that I just wanted to get done that week, but they weren't time sensitive. And so I found that that was kind of a nice way to manage these. And I did this for, I'm looking through, it looks like for almost a month I used this. And so for almost a month I was in Outlook. And I was not enjoying using Outlook to schedule. And I think for me, I have to enjoy the system I'm using or else I stop using it. And so, and I also made a couple of big boo-boos where I just, because with everything in Outlook, I would sort of wait for it to ding at me to remind me to do something. And there were times that it would ding and I wouldn't look at it very carefully. And I think my best example was when I had a lunch appointment with somebody, and at 11:55 in the morning, my phone and computer went ding, and it popped up a thing that said lunch. And so I was like, oh yeah, cool, let's go. Lunch sounds good. So I went out and had lunch and took a walk. And when I came back, I looked at my phone. I had like 4 text messages from the person I was supposed to be meeting with for lunch. If I had opened that thing up, if I had clicked on it, I would have seen lunch and with whom and where and their phone number and all this stuff. But the little thing that popped up at me, all it said was lunch. It was my mistake. It's not Outlook's fault, but I realized that I wasn't paying attention. And I think that I was sort of, just not, and this has happened every time I've tried to use electronic scheduling, is that I find that I get lazy, and that's dangerous. So I decided that I don't really care. And so if people at work want to have meetings with me, and they're not, if they request to meet with me, and I have a conflict in my schedule that's not on my Outlook calendar, I can just respond and say, I'm sorry, I have a conflict. Until somebody tells me I have to use Outlook, I'm just going to roll with what I'm doing because I like it better. And there's enough people at work who don't use Outlook that I think that it's not really enforceable right now. I don't know. Maybe it is. I'm sure if my boss decided that I had to be on Outlook, I would just figure it out. But right now it's not happening. And so I went back to Tried and True. And so Tried and True was personal size. There's no inserts in here. I just moved out of this recently. This is my red Winchester. I think it looks like it has faded a little bit. It's certainly getting a little bit more worn in. I've used this binder for a long time. I love it. It just feels right. It's so familiar to me. And really, Daytimer, day on 2 pages for the current week. Filofax, week on 2 pages for forward scheduling. and all of my reference information is really handy. So I use this. I use this until the end of 2016. So basically from mid or late September, about mid-September until the end of the year. And with no problems whatsoever, except for the fact that the rings are always stuffed. And I got the itch again, and decided that I could buy a new binder. So I just recently took possession of this. It's amazing. The same page size, just looking at the difference in overall size is kind of incredible. This is a vendor spec Touch Me in, I think it's called French Blue. The color sold itself to me. I think when I saw this color, I was immediately drawn to it. It also has 30 millimeter rings, which immediately resolved my problem with kind of the rings in my Winchester always being overstuffed. This has 30 millimeter rings, which is enough of a bump that I can fit everything. And yeah, the color is spectacular. The sort of the quality is great. All the stitching is very tidy. The leather feels very sturdy. It's got a nice leather smell. And so it's pretty beautiful. Inside, I do not... The thing I will say right off the bat, that this is... In many ways, this is sort of the design... It's like the opposite from like a design and build perspective from the Winchester. Now, the Winchester is... has quite rigid covers. It is built like a book. It is perfectly flat because it has a cover, a hinge, a spine, and a hinge and a cover. So the stiffening material does not go all the way through like in a lot of new Filofaxes. But it's minimal. Like the binder covers the binder cover is only slightly larger than the pages and tabs are. There's it carries the pen outboard rather than inboard the binder. So, like I said, like the covers protect the pages and tabs, but the tabs come right up to the pen loop. The pen loop is carried outboard. It's very minimal, and very kind of has a nice sort of rigidity. This binder, you can tell, is it has no stiffening material in it at all. It feels slightly like there might be some kind of, I don't know if it's some kind of padding or something between the cover and the inner lining. It has this big pocket on the backside, which I don't use. I've been carrying this around for a week now, and I haven't put a damn thing back there. I don't know what I ever will put back there, so I'm not sure it's relevant to me. The cover is fairly significantly larger than the page size. It carries... Actually, these ones, it carries the pen. The pen loops are kind of nicely designed. I just don't have good light for this. They are much more inboard than they are in the Winchester. But the classic Croc, I don't know if you can sort of see, it's right on the edge and tends to kind of hold the pen out, sort of inside, not out, inside. This one, it holds the pen towards the outside, but it's stitched in fairly far. I don't think I'm making any sense. It has two pen loops, which is great. I used to always need two pen loops because I carried a pen and a pencil. One of the things that I did do this year was I just started writing everything in pencil. It makes my life a lot easier. It's like if the schedule changes, I can just erase it. If I accidentally write something on the wrong day or in the wrong place, I can just move it. So that's nice. But anyway, my long story short is I don't usually like planners like this. Or binders like this. I think that sort of the squishy, soft, like unstructured feel is not what I like. It's obviously very popular with a lot of the planner people. With planner videos go on and on about how wonderful sort of soft, unstructured planners are. So I'm getting used to it. I'm trying really hard to be open-minded about it. It's a beautiful binder. I absolutely love the color. Like I said, the build quality on this is superb. The design is really nice. It's got lots of pockets, all different kinds. It has a gusseted zip pocket. It has a pocket for your business cards. It has a lot of 6 card slots in the back. The 2 pen loops, 2 secretarial pockets, and then that big wallet pocket across the back. And it also has up here by the zipper a slip pocket, which is about the size of paper currency for at least U.S. currency. Fits in here nicely, and without sort of peeking out. I feel like more sort of square currency, like the British pound notes, might stick out of this a little bit, but dollar bills fit in here perfectly. So it's a really nice. It's great, and it's not expensive. I think I said something on one of the planner groups the other day. I commented, I think that this has to be the best value for money on the market right now. I don't think that anybody else is making something that is this nicely designed, that's made this well out of leather that is this quality, with nice, good quality ring mechanism at this price point. And I ordered it from the Netherlands on New Year's Day, I think, and I got it a week later. So 1 week from Europe is not bad at all. And buying from vendor Spek is, you have absolutely nothing to worry about because they will take care of you. If something is wrong with it, they will take care of it. They've proven that to me in the past. So I highly recommend it. Like I said, I'm still kind of getting used to it. It's very puffy. It's puffy and squishy. I do find, I understand, I touch it all the time. It's like sick and perverted. It's like I'm always sort of squishing it. It has just nothing. There's no structure. I did take some. I had these Franklin Covey compact size page lifters that I did put at the front and the back, both because with 30mm rings you kind of need them to keep the pages from getting wrapped around the ring mechanism when you close the binder, but they also give a little bit of structure to the whole thing, but not much. It's very kind of, it just goes all over the place. I'm not sure if you can see how kind of, but I'm enjoying using it right now. I think the color, first of all, speaks to me. It's actually rendering on video pretty close in this light to the real color. It's not electric blue, but it is a bright blue. It's eye-catching. It's kind of soothing to look at. I really like it. Inside, having 30mm rings allowed me to put some stuff back in that I didn't usually have. As usual, I don't feel like I can really show you much from this. I'm using Filofax Week on 2 pages for forward planning. I'm using Daytimer Day on 2 pages for daily planning, and sort of keeping track of stuff. And so that's working fine. I have a note section. I'm thinking about putting, because I have the space, I haven't, one of the concessions I made when I moved back to personal was that I realized I can't keep all my addresses in the planner that I carry with me all the time, because I just don't have the ring capacity. I think in this one I do, and it was kind of annoying. This year we went to Argentina and Uruguay on vacation for a few weeks, and while we were there, my husband wanted to send a whole bunch of postcards home, and I realized I only have the addresses for people who I write to the most frequently. So I've got like one, I don't know, I think I have 6 or 8 addresses on one piece of paper in here, and otherwise I don't have anybody's addresses. And so I was thinking about maybe putting those back in, or at least putting more of them in. Pardon me, I've had a cold, so. So, what else? I don't know. I've been talking for 25 minutes, so I should probably stop. But that brings you up to date with where things are now. I don't know. Like I said, this is not a kind of binder that I usually would want, just because it is like kind of untidy, I guess. I like I don't like how the covers are all sort of bowed out. I'd like something stiff. But it's still, I'm enjoying using it at the moment. I do have a 5/4 Winchester that I could use that also has rings that are roughly the same size. And so that might be an option if I find myself frustrated with this. The nice thing, though, I will say about this is that the pocket arrangement has allowed me to keep a lot of things that were things that I wasn't carrying in the planner, or things that I was carrying in a card holder on the rings that I now was able to keep in the planner cover, which I think is better. So, and it's just things I don't want to lose. It's not necessarily things I use all the time. I have a museum membership card. I have an Oyster card. I haven't been to London in almost 2 years. So it's clearly I'm not using my Oyster card all the time. But I have some gift cards. I have an extra local bus pass, a 10-ride ticket thing that I'm going to start using it whenever. I have one that I keep in my current one I keep in my wallet, but when that one is expired, I have an extra one here. Some insurance cards. For some reason, I don't know why I carry this stuff with me, but I've got British and Argentine currency in here right now. It's really stupid to carry Argentine cash because their inflation is so high, and I probably should have exchanged it when I came back to the U.S., but anyway, I just keep it there. I figure next time I'm there, I've got some small bills if I need to give people tips or pay a taxi fare or something like that. I have a letter that I need to respond to. I have, and then I have a whole mess of, in the zip pocket up front, I have a whole bunch of stamps. So, anyway, I will stop. Almost half an hour. I'm sorry it's been so long. I'll try to do these more frequently. I have a whole lot of stuff to talk about. It's just finding the time. So, if you have any questions, pop them in comments, and I'll try to respond to them. If you have unnice things that are not nice to say, don't say them at all. And I'll be back at you at some point. Hopefully not in a whole year from now. Thanks for watching. Take care.